Hi, this is Hank Hanegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Bible Answer Man broadcast with another Hank Unplugged short. This one a little different than any one I've done before. Not long ago, I had the opportunity to speak with His Eminence, Metropolitan Kallistos Ware of Diokleia. And that was an interesting conversation. It was going to be an entire Hank Unplugged podcast, but we had some technical difficulties, so I'm breaking it up into some Hank Unplugged shorts. Now, let me say this, that my guest, the Most Reverend Metropolitan Kallistos Ware, is a fascinating man who became Orthodox as a result, in part, of reading about the Desert Fathers and then walking into an Orthodox church in London. Kallistos, as he is known, his name as an Orthodox Christian, taught Eastern Orthodox studies at Oxford from 1966 to 2001. And then in 2007, he was made titular Metropolitan of the Ecumenical Throne. On a personal note, I came to know him through his many writings, not the least of which is the must-read classic that is titled The Orthodox Church, subtitled An Introduction to Eastern Christianity. It's a fabulous resource. We do make it available for those who stand shoulder to shoulder with us in the battle for life and truth. Anyway, with that by way of introduction, I'd like you to hear his account, the account from his own lips of how he came to be involved with the Orthodox Church.
I was born into a family that was traditionally Anglican, or you would say in the States Episcopalian. And so I was brought up from early childhood to go to church, to pray. And I have positive memories of my experience and upbringing in the Anglican Church. And I would never wish to attack them. I'm grateful for all that I received from my parents and from the others who taught me the meaning of salvation in Christ. But for me, a turning point in my life came when I was 17 years old. I was at school in London, Westminster School. I was preparing to go up to Oxford in a few months' time. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was wandering through the part of London close to Victoria Station. And there I saw a church that I'd never been into before. It was, as I remember it, red brick, Victorian Gothic. There was no proper notice board outside about the services, but just a brass plaque saying Russian Church. I pressed on the door and found that it opened, and into the church I went. Outside it was a summer afternoon, hot, sunny. Inside the church it was dark and cool. And the first impression that I had was, this church is empty, because I did not see pews. I just saw a large expanse of polished floor. Then, after a time, I realized the church was not entirely empty. I realized that there were icons on the walls and lamps burning in front of them. I saw that at the east end there was a screen with icons and burning lamps. And somewhere out of sight, there was a choir singing. And my initial impression that the church was empty was replaced by an exactly opposite impression. This church is full. It is full of worshippers, invisible worshippers. In fact, there were a few worshippers, but very few. But I felt there is invisible presences here. There are people praying with us whom we cannot see, but we can feel their presence. And then I had a feeling, Christ is here. The Mother of God is here. The saints and angels are here. This is heaven on earth. We are one with the worship of the total church. I shall always remember how strong that feeling was. So I stayed for the part of the service. It was all in Slavonic, so I didn't understand anything. But I was deeply moved. And that is what brought me to the Orthodox Church, that initial experience of worship. It was not through reading books about Orthodoxy. It was not through meeting Orthodox people, but through experiencing Orthodox prayer. And that I felt was a good place to start, because above all, the church is a community of prayer.
Well, thanks for tuning in to this Hank Unplugged short and my interview with the Most Reverend Metropolitan Kallistos Ware of Diokleia.